we'll be solving polynomials by using factoring. In this case, we'll be solving trinomials. So remember, when you have a binomial, two binomials, and you multiply them, this is what happens. If I have a binomial, let's say a 3x plus 2 and a x minus 5, when I multiply this, I multiply the first ones together. That'll give me 3x squared. I also multiply the 2 here in the middle, which gives me my plus 2x. And I multiply the last ones, so the outside ones, using the inside and the outside. And the multiplying that will give me negative 15x. And then multiplying the last numbers together, which is the 2 and the negative 5, that'll give me my negative 10. So you end up with 4 pieces. And these 2 pieces in here are like terms, so these can be combined. Now, this is, the rule is same signs add, different signs subtract. So these are going to subtract, and the bigger sign is going to win. So we'll have our 3x squared. And I'll subtract these, and I'll get a 13x. And it'll be negative, and a negative 10. Okay, that's multiplication. After multiplication, this is what we end up with. Now, factoring is going from this answer back to the multiplication. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go from something that's already been multiplied, figure out what it used to be in those 2 binomials. So we're going to figure out what was 3x squared plus 8x plus 5. So I'm going to create 2 binomials, and we're going to figure this out. Okay.
Alex,
so we'll start off with 3x squared. And I want to say the 3x squared used to be a 3x here times an x here. Okay, this will give me a 3x. Now we're going to go to the other side, the 5. Now, 5 used to be a 1 times 5. The thing is, I don't know if it was a 1 here and a 5 there, or was it a 5 there and a 1 there. So let me try a 1 and a 5 first, and if that doesn't work, I will try a 5 and then a 1. So 1 and 5. Now let's see if these are really the right combination. Now what I'm looking for is that if I multiply the inside, this into this 1x, and then I multiply these 2, I get 15x. Okay, those are 2 inside numbers. This tells me we got to have same signs to get a 8x. Can we have same signs here and get a positive 8x? And the answer is no, because if I have said plus 1x and plus 15x, that'll give me a 16x. So definitely the 1 doesn't go there and the 5 doesn't go there, because right now I'm getting about 16x if the signs are the same. So let's try this again. Let's put my parentheses here and here. And put the equals. Got to put the equal 0 there. 3x times x again, but instead of 1 times 5, let's try 5 times 1. Now let's get the inside. Inside gives me 5x. The outside gives me 3x. And again, I want to use same signs to get positive 8x. Well, same signs would be plus, plus, and that would give me positive 8x. So this is the right combination. 5 belongs here and the 1 belongs there. And it should be positive first and positive second. So positive first and positive second. Okay, now that I have all this. Now, I need more room and this is in the way. So I'm just going to go over here to continue this problem because I ran out of room. So what I have now is a 3x plus 5 and an x plus 1, and that all equals 0. So from here, I'm going to take the pieces individually, split them up, and I'm going to say 3x plus 5, let that equal 0, and the x plus 1, let that equal 0. And then I'm going to solve for x for each of these. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. This will give me a 3x. The 5's will cancel. And 0 minus 5 is minus 5. Now I want to take my 3x equals negative 5. 3x equals negative 5. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So these 3's cancel. You have x. And over here, we're left with negative 5 over 3, because that won't simplify. Over here, to solve for x, I want to subtract 1 from both sides. This will give me x equals negative 1, and the x is isolated, or by itself, and this side is simplified, so that's negative 1, and this is negative 5/3. We're done. Alright, let's move to number 2. Okay, once again, I want to change this into 2 binomials, and see if we can solve. So 5x squared, that used to be a 5x times x. So I'll put it here and here. Multiply 5x times x, you get 5x squared. Now how do you get a 3? Well, 3 is either 1 times 3 or it's 3 times 1. I just don't know which one to put in, 1 times 3 or 3 times 1. Let's try 1 times 3 first and see if that works. So 1 times 3. So that gives me a 1x here, and that gives me a 15x there. And this says I need to use same signs to get a negative 8x. Where if I use the same signs, this will not get me a negative 8x. Watch. Put same signs. This gives me a negative 16x. Okay, same signs add. Alright, so let's try a new set of numbers. I'll keep using the 5x times x as before, but instead of a 1 times 3, I'm going to switch to 3 times 1. 3 times 1. And now let's see if this works. This gives me my 3x, and together this gives me 5x. Okay, so again, the positive tells me these need to be same signs to get a negative 8x. And the same signs to get a negative 8x would be negative, negative, that same sign. And same signs add to negative 8x. So this is it. So I need a negative first here, and a negative second there. Alright, good. Alright, since I'm kind of out of room, I'm going to take this problem over here to this side. And I'm going to write 5x minus 3 and x minus 1 all equals 0. And I'm going to solve this because I have factors here that equal 0. That means each factor can be set equal to 0. 5x minus 3 equals 0. And x minus 1 equals 0. Now I'm going to solve for x here by adding 3 to both sides. And that will give me 5x equals 3. Now further, to get x by itself, because right now I'm at 5x equals 3, I'm going to divide both sides by 5 so that these 5's cancel and give me just 1x. And over here, 3 over 5 does not simplify, so we're finished with that. Now let's get the second answer. I want to add 1 to both sides to get rid of the negative 1. This will give me x equals 1, and this is done. This is finished. So 3/5 and 1. Okay, let's look at the next one. The next one's number 3. And we have 2x squared plus 5x minus 3, and that equals 0. Go down a little bit. Okay. 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals 0. Well, we'll start off with making our parentheses here, our 2 binomials, and start off with 2x squared. That used to be 2x times an x. Okay. The 3 here was either 1 times 3 or 3 times 1. I just don't know which one it is. So let's try 1 times 3 and start with that. So 1 times 3. Okay. And these two gives me 1x, and putting these together gives me 6x. Now, this means I need different signs And the different signs need to give me a positive 5x. So different signs to give me a positive 5x. If I use different signs, I would use a negative here and a positive there. Those are different signs. And different signs will subtract. And I'll get a 5x, and it'll go positive because bigger sign wins. And this does match here. So this is good. So this means I need a negative first and a positive second. A negative first here, a positive there. Okay. So now that we have 2x minus 1 and the x plus 3, we can now split this up into two parts. 2x minus 1 equals 0, and an x plus 3 equals 0. Okay. So let me add 1 to both sides here. That'll give me a 2x here. These will cancel. Equals 1. Now from there, I am going to get rid of the 2 by dividing by 2 on both sides. So 2 divided by 2 gives me 1x. And 1 over 2 just gives me 1 over 2. And now to solve here for x. So minus 3, minus 3. And I get x equals negative 3. And this one is done. So our answers are 1 over 2, or 1/2, and negative 3. Okay. Number 4. Number 4, we have a 6x squared minus 4x minus 2, and that equals 0. And what I'm going to do here, since all of these can be divided by 2, I'm going to divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, and divide by 2. This will now give me a 3x squared minus a 2x minus 1, and this will be a 0. Okay. And so I have smaller numbers now, but same equation.
Definitely.
So now let's break this up into two binomials. 3x squared can be broken into 3x times x. Now 1 is easy, because 1 times 1 is 1, so I don't have to worry about checking both sides. So I'll just put a 1 here and a 1 there. This is good. This is good. So in the middle, I'll have a 1x. On the outside, we'll have a 3x. Now, I need to use different signs to get a negative 2x. Different signs to get a negative 2x will be positive and negative. This combination, same signs add, different signs subtract, will give me the 2x, and the bigger sign wins will be negative 2x. So this is the right combination. A plus first and then a negative. So let's put a plus first here and then a negative there. And so now what I have is a 3x plus 1 and an x minus 1 set equal to 0. So let's set both of those equal to 0. 3x plus 1 set equal to 0. And x minus 1
Harmony is in.
is equal to 0. Okay, now let's solve for x here. So subtracting 1 on both sides, we'll get 3x equals negative 1. Now I'm going to take my 3x that equals negative 1 and I'm going to divide both sides by 3.
Alright, this one's in 10.
And this will cancel out and give me 1x. And this will remain negative 1/3. For this one, I'm going to add 1 to both sides. And we'll get x equals 1. So our answers are negative 1 over 3 and a 1. Now, let's take a look at number 5 and 6. 5 is 16x squared minus 25 equals 0, whereas 6 is going to be 121x squared minus 225 equals 0. Now, this is called a difference of two squares, and in order to get this to become a parentheses, we have to take the 16x squared and take the square root of that and find out what that is. And then take the 25 and find out what the square root of that. Now the square root of 16 is 4. And the square root of x squared is x. The square root of 25 is 5. Now that we have these two pieces, this is our A and B piece. That's our A and B piece. We're going to put it in this order. A plus B and A minus B. Okay. And that gives us our two factors. So now we can start solving both factors. 4x plus 5 will equal 0, and 4x minus 5 will equal 0. Now I will subtract 5 from both sides, and this will give me 4x equals negative 5. I'll take my 4x equals negative 5 and divide both sides by 4, and this will give me x equals 5 over 4. Okay, on this problem, on this side right here, I'm going to add 5 to both sides in order to get rid of the 5. And this does give me 4x, the 5's go away, and 0 plus 5 is 5. Now I'm going to take my 4x equals 5, I'm going to divide both sides by 4. Divided by 4 gives me a 1x. And 5 over 4 does not simplify. So my answers are negative 5 over 4 and positive 5 over 4. Okay, number 6. We're going to do the same thing. So we're going to see if this is a difference of two squares by using our square root. So square root of 121 and x squared. And then we'll also take the square root of 225. Well, the square root of 121 is 11. The square root of x squared is x. So far, we're getting perfect squares, which is good. The square root of 225 is 15. Very good. So we do have, it looks like we have a difference of two squares. So let's put this as A and this is B. So A will be 11x plus B, which is 15. And A is 11x again, minus B, which is 15. That equals 0. Okay, so now let's begin to split this into two pieces. 11x plus 15 is said equal to 0. 11x minus 15 is said equal to 0. This is minus 15, this is minus 15. So 11x will equal negative 15 because these 15's cancel. Now, I want to take my 11x, which equals negative 15, and I'm going to divide both sides by 11. Divided by 11 gives me a 1x. And on the other side, it gives me a negative 15 over 11. On this problem, this side problem is worked out very similarly. We add 15 to both sides, and we end up with 11x equals 15, because these 15's cancel. We're going to take the 11x equals 15, and we're going to divide both sides by 11. Dividing by 11 on both sides gives me a 1x here, and over here it gives me a 15 over 11.